Why should you spend $300 on soccer cleats? For the $5 string bag, of course. What's going on, guys? Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, and welcome to the 5 reasons why you should not buy expensive boots. Now, this video definitely isn't for everybody, kind of including myself, because I'm someone who can totally justify spending $200, $300+ on a single pair of boots just because I'm really into it and that is what I truly want. But for a lot of people who may have the money to spend but don't necessarily want to spend it, maybe they're having a hard time justifying buying these really expensive boots that are gonna wear out anyways, this video should help you out in regards to deciding whether or not it's worth it for you personally. Because if you ask me, if I'm being realistic, having tried everything high-end, mid-range, and low-end, you don't have to spend a lot of money on your boots to get a good quality experience. If you guys do end up enjoying the video, don't forget to support it with a like. And if you're new here watching for the first time, don't forget to hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. So if you were thinking about buying $300 boots for the upcoming season, here's 5 reasons why you shouldn't. Contrary to what a lot of people seem to believe, $300 boots are not going to make you play better. The reality of the situation is that this is reality, not a video game. You're not gonna strap $300 Superflies on your feet and immediately become Cristiano Ronaldo. Your skills and abilities are on you, not the boots that you're wearing. There's no boot that's gonna make you faster or control the ball better or score more goals like a lot of the marketing would lead you to believe. Yes, you can believe that the shoes will do that for you, but is that the reality of the situation? In my opinion, the answer to that question is no. Now, of course, some people feel more confident if they're wearing more expensive shoes. And if that's you, then maybe it's easier for you to justify spending that amount of money. And I would argue that depending on which type of shoe that you're looking for, if you wanted a Flyknit boot from Nike as an example, only a Flyknit boot is going to feel like that. Therefore, you pretty much have to buy a top-end $300 shoe. But if you can't justify that price and you don't feel the need to have $300 boots, then guess what? You don't need them because they're not going to make you play any better. Now, as great as top-end boots are, and I would argue that in most cases that the top-end model is going to be the best in regards to overall quality and the experience that it has on offer, that is not to say that you don't have great options at lower price points, because there are plenty of great value for money options that are almost equally as good, or at least 95% as good as what you're going to find from a lot of $200+ options out there. If you want something leather, something like a Nike Premier 2 or a Tiempo Legacy 3, now the Nike Tiempo Legend 7 Pro, those are excellent options for basically half the price of the top-end Tiempo Legend 7 Elite. If you're looking for something that is thin and light, the Nike Mercurial Vapor 12 Pro at $130 versus $250 to $275 for the top-end Vapor or Superfly is an absolutely fantastic option. That's just 2 that came to mind. Also keep in mind as well, as a side note, if you are on a budget in general, you can generally find older colorways or previous season's top-end models discounted to $150 or less, at which point you can have that top-end quality, that top-end boot, without paying $200 to $300 for that pair. Again, everyone's gonna have their own situation, and when they're buying shoes obviously makes a big difference as well, but just do your research and consider all of your options, because more often than not, you can spend $150 or less and get something that is equally as good, if not better, than a top-of-the-line, latest and greatest $300 boot. One of the major reasons why a lot of people can't justify spending $200 to $300 on a single pair of boots, especially in 2018, is that a lot of top-end boots simply aren't the most durable. You're gonna get 1 season out of them if you're playing a lot, and then after that, are you gonna have to spend another $300? Some people simply can't afford it or just don't want to spend the money. Well, that's where mid-tier and lower end models come into play, because those cheaper models tend to actually last longer. And the reasoning for that is because they don't feature materials that are quite as thin and quite as flexible. You have materials that are a little bit thicker, a little bit more rugged. The build quality tends to be pretty much the same, especially when you're talking about mid-tier shoes especially. So because you have slightly thicker, slightly more rugged materials, they also tend to be more durable than the lighter, thinner top-end boots that you're paying more money for. Now again, it all depends on what you can justify, but if durability is the ultimate goal, more often than not, lower end shoes are going to last longer than higher end shoes. We've all had that teammate who gets brand new $300 shoes and is totally stressed out about them for the first month. They're worried about getting them dirty, picking up scuffs, making sure that they don't get damaged in any way at all, which is perfectly fine. If you buy something nice, obviously you want to take care of it, but at the same time, if you're playing this game, especially at a higher level, you want to be thinking about the game, not the boots on your feet. If you're thinking about that in any way at all, that is definitely impacting your performance in a negative way. So another benefit of spending less on your shoes is that you don't have to worry about them as much. If you spent $100 versus $300, if your shoes get scuffed, who cares? If they get dirty, who cares? If something breaks, who cares? You only spent $100. You can go and get another pair because you didn't break the bank in the first place by spending 3 times as much money on a single pair of boots that could go wrong in an instant. So again, if you have a hard time justifying paying $300 because you feel like you'd be too worried about it, spend less money, don't be worried. Just concentrate on playing. That's gonna help your performance more than anything. Reason number 5 is a big one, especially if you are on a tighter budget, but you have the money to spend on high-end shoes. Save your money, get something that's just as good at a mid-tier price point, and use that extra money to buy yourself a good quality ball. I can't say how many times I've gone to the field and seen kids practicing all wearing $300 boots, but they have the cheapest, oldest, rattiest balls possible, and that's what they're practicing with. That just isn't the right way of doing things. The ball is the reason why you're able to play this sport. It is the most important piece of equipment, but some people just don't seem to be able to justify spending money on the ball. They'd rather invest in the boots, which I get because you're wearing the boots, but the ball itself is so much more important. Now, I'm not saying to allocate an extra $150 that you're not spending on boots to a ball. $150, $160 match ball, while very good, that's still a lot of money, but you can typically find last season's match balls, even 2 seasons ago match balls, for like $60 to $80 on sale, which is still expensive, but the experience that that ball is going to have on offer, the feel of the ball, the practice that you're gonna get from using a product like that versus a $20 ball, trust me when I say that is going to actually make you improve because the quality of the ball is super, super important. When you go and play a match, you're typically not using a really cheap ball, especially if you're playing at a competitive level. So my word of advice, if you're saving money on boots and you have extra money to spend because you've saved that money, if you play in a league that has a specific match ball or you just have access to a match ball that's on sale, go and buy that exact ball and use that to practice with rather than something really, really cheap. Because cheap balls, yes, they work, but the experience, the feel, the way that it actually reacts is nowhere near the same way as a match ball. So to me, it's totally worth the investment on the ball rather than the boots. So those are 5 reasons why you should not buy top-end boots. And again, if you have the money and you can justify spending $200+ on a pair of top-end boots and that's what you really want, go and buy them. They're the best of the best. They exist for a reason. But if you can't justify the price, just realize that you do have really solid options at lower price points. Don't feel bad because you don't have the latest and greatest thing. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. If you have any questions, as always, leave them down below in the comments and I'll do my best to get an answer out to you as soon as I possibly can. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks for watching.